Hey guys, and welcome back to I Love Charlton Comics Part 2. Uh, I guess maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago I did a video and showed a bunch of Charlton stuff, and everybody knows uh, how much, what a fondness I have for that company. And just because, they were, like I said before, they were like a three-legged dog of the industry. But I know Hans shows a lot of Charlton stuff, and some other people show some Charlton stuff. I know Hippies showed some, and Tony, Why Not Art, he just showed a great video, some high-grade Charlton stuff he had. So shout out to you, Tony. Return the favor. Uh, got a lot of great stuff in here, and I got a couple books at the end. And one of them isn't Charlton, but it's a couple books that I've wanted for quite a while. But we'll just get into it. This is a reader copy. I think it was maybe 50 cents. And I've already got a high grade copy. But I just, anything to do with Tom Sutton's art, I want to try to grab it. But this is Monster Hunters number 3. Got a big chunk out of the cover. I will tell you something interesting about this cover, though. You see the girl, you see the big monster behind her. Well, originally I think Sutton drew this girl, and her chest wasn't covered. And I think they had to scramble to like redo the cover. I don't know if he had to redraw it or somebody else, but just to kind of show you how loose things were at Charlton. Yeah, this had to be redrawn. I think I've got a book somewhere that shows the original artwork of this. So a little interesting footnote to this issue. As far as Charlton, probably my least favorite genre of that would be like the Western stuff. I mean, I love Western comics, depending on what it is. And but this was one of those things where I just love the cover, and this is a beautiful painted cover by Warren Sattler. This is Billy the Kid number 112. Really nice grade, but a beautiful, beautiful painted cover. Another little oddball Western character, Geronimo Jones, number 8. I don't think this title lasted too long. Speaking of Tom Sutton, another great Sutton cover, Haunted Love, number 10. I really want to complete this title, and these are hard to find in any kind of shape at all for some reason. But it's a really cool painted cover. I'm pretty sure I already had this. Well, I know I already had this, but I just wanted an upgrade. And since the original story of this is really kind of pricey, I was happy to get it for a pretty good price. But Space Adventures number 9. And this reprints the very first appearance of Captain Atom by Steve Ditko. I think the original first appearance was like in Space Adventures number 33. I'm thinking, and it's a really, really pricey book. But get the first maybe 2 or 3 appearances of Captain Atom in this book, so pretty cool. Speaking of Ditko, Ghost Manor number 2. There's another one of these 50-cent deals. Somebody had written all over this one, but still didn't have this issue. I got upgraded it later. Ghost Manor number 3. You can kind of tell they've done some serious artwork with the ink pen and up in the logo too. But usually, unless I can find a deal, I'll just, if I can find a cheap reading copy, and I'm trying to complete a run, this is usually the way I'll go. But I will be upgrading this one. Like another Sutton cover, Ghost Manor number 17. Rich Larson cover, Beyond the Grave number 14. Haunted number 4. More Ditko, obviously. Haunted number 17. One of my favorite Tom Sutton painted covers. This is an upgrade. This is probably a very fine copy. Haunted number 27, or as it was later called, Baron Werewolf's Haunted Library. Okay, these next several books, I think I had one issue of this title, and it was another one of those short-lived titles. But as I was a character, wasn't real famous. I think probably the only thing that this character is famous for is that one of the Watchmen comic and movie was based on this character. But I was wanting to collect the whole run, and there was only like 11 issues. And for the most part, I tracked the whole run down, but one of them is a modern reprint, and I need to upgrade probably one more. But for the most part, these are high grade. And in Charlton, a lot like DC, a lot of these books had funny numbering. They would like cancel a book and then continue the numbering under another title. Was real common for Charlton, especially in the late 60s. But a character I really like, and I like the artist that did most of these issues. We have Thunderbolt, number 1. Really nice high-grade book. And this character was actually created, written, and drawn by Pete Morisi. Now, I thought the guy's name was Pete Morrissey, but I watched a Charlton panel on YouTube, and they had some guys that were actually at Charlton and mentioned his name a few times, so I've been mispronouncing it. It's like it's M-O-R-I-S-I, and I thought it was Morrissey, but it was Morisi. And I mentioned this earlier, this was the same guy that he was actually moonlighting as a comic book artist, and his day job was a cop. So, anybody that's read Charlton Comics and they've seen his art, they see that little thing, it looks like the word Pam. It's like P and A and then like 3 little ones. It looked like Pam, but it was Peter A. Morisi. But Thunderbolt was created by this guy, and I always kind of like the art. Okay, like I said, that was number 1. And they continued the numbering from a title called Son of Vulcan. And Son of Vulcan was continued from a title called Mysteries of Unexplored Worlds. So through issue 48, I think it was Mysteries of Unexplored Worlds. Then it went to a couple issues of Son of Vulcan, and then continued the numbering with Thunderbolt. So instead of issue number 2, this is issue number 51. Peter Cannon Thunderbolt. Got a couple copies of 52, and they're low grade. I just put like a minimum bid, like of $1, and I got both of them, but I need to upgrade these. This is the worst, I guess. Well, I don't know. Somebody took a marker to this one, but this is issue 52, and so is this. And it's kind of, it's pretty chewed up, as you can see. So this is probably the only one I'll need to upgrade. It's issue 52. Number 53. And other than 52, I think all of them are really nice grade books. 54. Like I say, one of the Watchmen was actually based on this character. I think this was the inspiration for Ozymandias in the Watchmen. Peter Cannon Thunderbolt. Number 55. I love these covers because they're really colorful, and the colors just pop on these. Number 56. 57. Some nice colors on that one. I think all but maybe 2 issues were done by Pete Morisi, and the other couple were probably by Pat Boyette, who did a lot of work for Charlton and for DC later on. Number 58 is the Modern Comics reprint. And it's kind of funny because when they did these, they didn't go back and like, oh, okay, this is a reprint, this is number 1, but it's a reprint of so-and-so issue. They would just actually put the original number on the reprint book. So this is the reprint of Thunderbolt 58. And I think I've got the actual original issue coming in the mail later on this week. Maybe a couple issues of it. I get on there and if I find a deal or something that's got a low bid or offer on it, I'll usually try to hit it up once or twice on different auctions to try to get the book. But I think these, I don't know how collectible they are, but there were just several titles where they just reprinted 1 or 2 issues. So for Charlton collectors, it might be something to pick up on. Trying to get all the modern reprints. Number 59. Really in love with these covers. And last issue, number 60. This is done by Pat Boyette. Another cool thing about some of these Charlton comics are some of the backup stories. And I'll kind of get into that a little bit more on this next title. But there are really some nice little hidden gems in the backs of some of these. Case in point, I'll show this one. Of course, you have the Thunderbolt story, but in the back of this one, you have a character where you have Sergius O'Shaughnessy as the writer, which is just Denny O'Neil, just a fake name. Dick Giordano was the editor, and Jim Aparo was the artist. And this was a character called the Prankster. When you fans of Jim Aparo and Denny O'Neil, this is where these guys got their start. Not in this particular book, but in Charlton Comics. That's just a great illustration. Jim Aparo art. And since I was talking about backup features, there's some more Charlton Western. Cheyenne Kid. Not particularly interested in this character, but the backup is what was really great about this one. Now I think, for the most part, the backup feature, maybe not all the way through, but ran kind of on and off between issues 66 and 87 of Cheyenne Kid. And this feature was another one by Sergius O'Shaughnessy, a.k.a. Denny O'Neil, and Jim Aparo. And it was sort of like sci-fi meets Western. And it was a character called Wander, about a guy from another planet landing back in the Old West. And like I say, I think the character lasted maybe 20 issues, but the first 5 issues that Aparo did are the ones I really wanted to get, or the first 6 issues. I think he did issues 66 through 71, where Aparo was on the art. But here you have a mix of some classic Silver Age sci-fi and Western together. Jim Aparo, Denny O'Neil. And already in this one, you can kind of see the artwork wasn't quite what Aparo would be doing later on with DC with Aquaman and Batman and Brave and Bold, but it's pretty close. So I just thought this was like a really cool oddball type character, and the stories are really fun. Like I say, I think issue 66 through 71 had Aparo art. And I guess there's maybe a rotating stable of guys that did it after that. Issue 66 issue 68. More of the same with Wonder in the backup story. Number 69. So I think I've already got one more of these of the Paro issue, so I think maybe 2 shy. Speaking of Jim Paro, a lot of people may or may not be aware, he had a great run on the Phantom in Charlton Comics. So here's the Phantom number 36. And this is to me, it's kind of reminiscent of some early Bronze Age Aquaman covers that Paro did. Really cool. Nice art in these. Okay. Here we have Creepy Things number 1. This is an upgrade. Another Tom Sutton cover. And got some Sutton interior art. Mini Ghosts of Dr. Graves number 13. And another one that I wanted quite a while. Found a good deal on it. It's got a great cover by Pat Boyette. Mini Ghosts of Dr. Graves number 1. Really nice grade. As probably all of you know that collect Charlton stuff, it's hard to find stuff in nice grade just because of the printing process. But this is a really nice copy. Sorry about the glare, but I got lights everywhere and Mylar doesn't help. There we go. Okay. Some more Silver Age sci-fi. Strange Suspense Stories, number 74. Can't go wrong with giant apes. Speaking of which, Conga. Not sure the number. This might be number 4. I'm sure Hippie could tell me if that's right or not. Hadn't looked on the inside since I bought it or rebagged it. But more great Steve Ditko stuff. Okay, these last 2 are what I'm calling long coveted books. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you out there have like seen books online or maybe at a show or a shop or something that, you know, maybe the time wasn't right or the price wasn't right or whatever. But these are 2 books that I wanted for years and finally found a good deal on both of them. This is probably maybe a VG Plus, maybe a VG Fine. But this is a book I wanted for a long time. And this is Charlton. The last one's not, but this is this magazine is hot on number 12. And it's just got a beautiful Steve Ditko cover. Sorry about the glare there, but there we go. But in this issue we have 5, count them, 5 Steve Ditko stories. So, really happy to have this one in my collection. Just one of those books I couldn't get out of my head, and found a really nice deal on it. Happy to have it. And this last one, while not being a Charlton book, is one that I've known about forever, and I love the cover. And a lot of these were reprinted in the 70s. But these are like some mid-50s Silver Age. And this is from St. John's Press, or St. John Comics. Tor number 4 by the late great legend himself, Joe Kubert. I always loved this cover. I've seen it at a few conventions. For the most part, it was out of my price range. And the only thing wrong with this one, there's a couple little chunks out of the top you can kind of see, but otherwise the book's really tight. I think most of the interiors are done by Kubert, and there might be another story done by someone else. But these, I think a lot of these stories were reprinted in the 70s series, Tor. I think it just had new covers by Kubert. DC put out in the 70s, but just an awesome book. You can't beat dinosaurs and cavemen and monkeys. So, another glorious addition to the collection. Alright guys, all I got this time. Thanks for sticking with me. And as always, Onward and upward.